I was driving late, trying to finish the last stretch before home, when I saw lights come on behind me. I pulled over. 2-lane road, trees tight on both sides, no houses, no traffic. The officer walked up and told me my passenger side headlight was out completely. I told him I knew. I'd noticed it earlier, but figured I could make it home before it caused a problem. He said he understood, but since it was fully out, another stop could turn into a ticket depending on who pulled me over next. Then he said there was a station nearby with a night desk. If I stopped in and had the warning logged from a terminal, it would show I'd already been advised and was headed home to fix it. He said the system didn't always sync warnings across shifts unless they were entered that way. That made sense. I asked where it was. He gave me directions. Clear, confident. Take the next right. Stay on it until it dead ends. Can't miss it. He went back to his car. Didn't follow me. The turn came up almost immediately. The road narrowed fast. Pavement turned rough. No lines. Just headlights and trees closing in. I remember thinking it didn't feel like a road anyone used much at night, but I trusted the directions. He was a cop. Why wouldn't I? The road ended exactly where he said it would. There was a chain link gate pulled open and a small gravel lot beyond it. The gate looked like it had been left that way on purpose. One building. Low. Concrete. Dark windows. No signage. No cruisers. One exterior light over the door that wasn't flickering, but didn't feel steady either. I rolled in and stopped. The quiet hit immediately. No bugs. No wind. No sound from inside the building. I sat there for a moment, then shut the engine off. When I stepped out, I smelled cold dirt, damp leaves, and old oil. The tree line felt close. Too close. Like the lot had been carved straight out of the woods and never widened beyond that. I walked toward the door, figuring if someone was inside, I'd hear them once I got closer. That's when I heard breathing. Not behind me, off to the side, in the trees. I stopped. At first, I thought it might be my own breathing echoing back, but then I heard it again. Slow, controlled, more than one person. I looked toward the tree line. I couldn't see faces, just darker shapes where the shadows didn't layer naturally, like people standing just far enough back to stay hidden. That's when everything else clicked. No cameras, no signs, no posted hours. Nothing that actually marked this place as a police station. A branch snapped to my left. Not loud. Close. I turned around and went straight back to my car. I didn't run. I didn't shout. I got in, started the engine, and the headlights swept the trees. That's when I saw them clearly. 3 people, maybe 4, standing still. Not approaching, not signaling, just watching. They looked like they'd been standing there long before I arrived. No uniforms. No reflective gear. I threw the car in reverse and backed out hard enough that gravel sprayed the gate. I didn't stop until I was back on the main road. I drove another 20 minutes before I saw another patrol car parked on the shoulder. I pulled over on my own. Different officer. Different car. I told him everything. The stop, the directions, the building, the people in the trees. He listened without interrupting. Then he asked me to describe the officer who gave me directions. I did. He shook his head. There was no station down that road. No substation. No overnight desk. The building used to belong to a quarry operation that shut down years ago. It was condemned. I asked him why another officer would send me there. He didn't answer that. He just told me to go straight home and not stop again that night. A few days later, I called the department and asked if they'd heard of anything like that before. The woman on the phone paused for a long time. Then she said, carefully, "Sometimes people give directions they shouldn't." That was all she'd say. I haven't taken that road since. No one ever mentioned it again. I was tired enough to miss details. That's why, when my dash lit up, ABS, traction control, battery, 3 warnings at once, I didn't trust my gut at first. It happened right when a car settled into my blind spot. Not behind me, beside me. Left rear quarter, right off the back corner. The spot where you feel a vehicle sitting there, even when you can't get a clean look at it. The highway was empty in that after midnight way. No traffic to blend into. No shoulder I wanted to stand on. Just a guardrail, black trees, and cold air outside that made the whole world feel thin. I kept my eyes forward and eased the throttle up, just a little, trying to change the spacing. The instant their headlights slid from my rear door toward my tailgate, the battery light blinked out. Traction control dropped a beat later. ABS followed. The truck still ran fine. The engine sounded normal. Then the car adjusted smoothly and drifted right back into that same dead zone. The 3 warnings popped again, quick, like a flicker. That was enough. I moved left and accelerated, clean and simple, until my rear bumper cleared their front bumper, and I could feel them fall back. The warnings didn't vanish like magic. They flickered, then settled down. I didn't test it again. I just wanted distance. But a minute later, the car eased ahead and slipped in front of me like it had been waiting for that move. That's when I got my first real look. Cracked right taillight, just enough to make the brake light glow uneven. Up ahead, a lone sign gantry washed the lanes in harsh LED light for a few seconds. I stayed directly behind them as we went under it. 3 silhouettes inside. Driver, front passenger, someone in the back. Hoods up, faces lost in shadow. Still enough that my brain didn't like it. And on the rear window, dead center, a decal caught the light cleanly. An inverted pentagram inside a circle. Crisp vinyl, straight, deliberate. Maybe it was shock value. Maybe it was a band thing. I don't know. But paired with the hoods, it stopped feeling like decoration. My dash fluttered again, those same 3 warnings, quick as an eyelid. For half a second, my hands tightened and my instincts screamed for the shoulder. Then I pictured myself standing beside my truck in that dark, with those taillights parked behind me. So I stayed in my lane. The next exit sign showed services and a flood of light. Gas, food, cameras. I signaled early and moved toward it. The car reacted immediately. 1 lane change, then another. It lined up for the same exit. That didn't prove anything. It just meant they were choosing with me. My dash lit again. ABS, traction control, battery. I took the ramp and held a steady speed. No panic brake, no shoulder stop. I drove like the only rule was, keep moving until there's light and people. Halfway down, their headlights stayed centered in my mirror. At the bottom, the ramp split. 1 lane curved toward the lit businesses, canopy lights, storefront signs, the kind of place that never fully goes dark. The other lane peeled off toward a frontage road behind the buildings, unlit, chain link, loading docks. I stayed aimed for the bright lane. At the split, the car hovered over the striped paint, positioned like it could choose either lane at the last second. For a second, it felt like they were waiting to see which way I'd go. Then the car straightened out and re-merged back onto the highway, smooth, controlled, like the exit had been optional the whole time. As their headlights angled away, my warnings flickered and dropped again. I pulled into the gas station under the canopy and parked in the brightest spot I could find. Engine running, doors locked. I sat there with my hands on the wheel, listening to my own breathing. Then I popped the hood. Cold air hit me hard. I checked the obvious, battery terminals. The negative clamp had play. Not dramatic, just enough that vibration could dip voltage and make a few systems panic. Green corrosion around the edge. Old problem. Normal problem. I grabbed the cheap wrench from the glove box and tightened it until it wouldn't budge. Then I got back in and stayed under the lights where the cameras could see me. A few minutes passed. Cars came and went. The clerk moved behind the counter. The world stayed normal. Then, a dark car rolled by outside the lot, slow on the frontage road. No headlights, just a shape moving through the edge of the canopy light. It didn't turn in. It just passed the entrance like it was checking. As it crossed the brightest spill of light, I caught the rear window. That pentagram decal flashed clean for a second, and the cracked right taillight made the red glow uneven again. Same car, same 3 silhouettes inside. Still, it kept going and disappeared behind the buildings where the frontage road dropped back into dark. I waited until another customer pulled out, then I left right behind them. Main road, lights, people. My dash stayed calm the whole way home. And that should have been the end of it, but it wasn't, because now I knew how fast normal can turn into a situation. All it takes is a small mechanical problem and the wrong car deciding to sit beside you when the road empties out.